The illusion of satisfaction. If you talk to enough Buddhists, if you listen to enough Buddhists talk, you hear a lot about what is what is an illusion that we accept as something that's real. One thing I've not come across yet is anyone advocating for the notion that satisfaction is an illusion. And so I thought that might be a fun place to start talking about illusions. And this is the claim that I make. Satisfaction is an illusion. Thought I could maybe put some fancier topspin on that, but I think it stands bold enough on its own. The idea that what we're chasing, this notion of satisfaction, not to be confused with illusory, because it can be illusory, can be a bit elusive to us. The idea that we've reached a point of satisfaction with anything we're trying to accomplish or make happen or obtain. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fact that satisfaction itself is an illusion. Now, does that mean it's not real? Satisfaction is about as real as the kiss of ink on parchment from a rubber stamp. There's a immeasurable moment where contact is made, and what we've wanted, what we've been craving, seems to be in hand. And there's even residual residue of its existence on the paper. But it lacks dimension, and it's fading immediately. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's immediately losing the luster that it had the moment it was created. This is what satisfaction is life. This is what satisfaction is like in real life. We pursue objects that we believe will bring us satisfaction. The new iPhone 14 was announced yesterday, and I immediately felt an upwelling of craving. There's some cool features on there, and I could see how they could be a benefit to my life. And the only reason I won't chase down the consummation of that craving is because I understand, while it may have a usefulness in my life, there could be a perfectly utilitarian reason to make that choice. That initial craving sensation is not to be trusted. There will be no durability to the feeling of satisfaction that I can rely on as a valuable rationale for why I should pursue getting myself one of those new 14s. That's not to say that I shouldn't have one. I don't know what I should or shouldn't do. It's not to say that one wouldn't be helpful in some way. This is what happens. So we find there's something we want. It's not always products. It could be a relationship. It could be a trip we've always wanted to take, a degree we've wanted to achieve. Many admirable and useful aspects of life start as cravings. But to chase them for the satisfaction, it's not that isn't also useful, But it's helpful. I feel it's helpful to understand that satisfaction is a pretty crummy foundation to stand on, because the moment we get that iPhone 14, from the moment we purchase it, I mean, just logically, it immediately loses its value. The money we spent, right? The held energy for our labor that we traded for that technology. It's you may be really savvy, and you may be able to turn it around and sell it for the same amount of money, or maybe there's a situation where there's a shortage. So I can find examples where that doesn't hold true, but all things being equal, the value of our purchases, especially with technology, cars, things like that, immediately lose their value. But that's not really what powers satisfaction. We're not satisfied by our financial investment in the things that we purchase. What is happening when we feel satisfaction and it feels like it's lasting? Because I'm sure many people watching this will say, that's not true. I feel a lasting satisfaction after I make a purchase or I accomplish something. It lasts. I would argue that it's not lasting so much as the degradation of that satisfaction, like the degradation of the ink blot, is fading so slowly that we can't tell. We can't notice that it's fading. There comes some kind of a point later on where that volume of quality to the satisfactoriness of it becomes noticeable, like noticing your hair seemingly overnight grew long, or your nails grew long, but they were always actually growing. Things were always actually evolving. The only true moment of satisfaction, or the only true satisfaction we experience in any given circumstance, is immediately fleeting. The moment it happens is the moment that it's leaving. And again, this isn't to say that there's no value in satisfaction. It's helpful to understand that satisfaction, it could be thought of as a tool for understanding, for further investigation of what the value of anything we're pursuing is. The ability to recognize that I'm chasing some kind of satisfaction is a nice moment to realize, well, what's the actual usefulness of this in my life over time? Or am I just chasing satisfaction, and as that fades, I'll be left with a choice that doesn't have any lasting usefulness in my life. Here's a great example people love to bring up. I find it very satisfying to purchase art. I do personally. When my wife and I travel, we purchase street art to support local artists, and it's affordable. And when you see it on the wall, you have this feeling of joy, remembering the trip. It's nostalgia. So a wonderful feeling that arises. But when I'm honest with myself about what that feeling is, which is positive, it's not the same feeling as the satisfaction that I feel when I finally have decided on the piece of artwork that's going to work, and have strong-armed my wife into agreeing with me that my taste is right. And we've had that moment where there's the financial exchange, and we did the thing, we got the piece of artwork. That is the moment of satisfaction, and it's great. The usefulness of that choice over time is the joy that it brings when I feel the nostalgia of the time we spent in that location, and we get to see it. That's not satisfaction. It still matters. It's still useful, but it's not satisfaction. And for every example in my life that I have where I can think of that level of usefulness of chasing satisfaction for something that later pays back, I can think of many that seem like they'd be long-term valuable choices, and that's not how it worked out. The usefulness of recognizing that satisfaction is an illusion is the ability to recognize that there will be nothing permanent about the feeling of satisfaction ever.